I guess I should try and tackle this. I've been putting this off, but so Ironheart, the last 3 episodes came out, and some of the panel here have seen all of it. I tried my utmost, right? I tried.
I think between all of us, we've seen all of it.
Yeah, I got a good way through episode 5, and I just thought, you know what, this isn't worth it, man. It's just not. This is punishment. But wow, what a show! What can I even say about it? What can you guys say about it? What did your experience of Ironheart come down to?
They answered the question of what if the superhero show was just a supervillain show, and let's see if we can get away with it. And a lot of people haven't noticed yet. It's kind of crazy.
My key takeaway was pure moral emptiness. If you have a character who starts off as someone who's marginalized, who's overlooked, even though they're brilliantly talented, then you've got the bare bones of a good, anti-hero kind of story. You can kind of root for them. But if you have someone who starts off with, they've got an all expenses paid Tony Scott scholarship to MIT, and you've got every opportunity possible, and you squander all the resources and all the goodwill, and you
tailor-made
exactly
curriculum
and then,
for them.
After you've been expelled for illicitly giving marks and ideas to other students, and thus devaluing the actual achievements and efforts of
multiple schools. Multiple,
then,
not just hers.
After 2 minutes after that, you're solicited by some shady dude, and you give up your moral compass and all your integrity.
Never had one.
And then you just join a rank criminal gang. And this isn't like an Ocean's 11 criminal gang. This is one where they break bones and maim people and shatter people's spines and hurl them across desks just because they're security guards just doing their job.
Kill them.
So it's the most morally empty rank show, and it just keeps oscillating back and forth between, I wanted to do this so I could build suits for first responders and do good, and then other times she'll say, I just did it because I wanted to, or I just did it because I wanted to be.
Yeah, like, why did you want to build this suit when there's all these other useful things you could build? And she's like, I built it because I can. What the fuck kind of answer is that? And there's a point where she says to Xavier, am I a bad person? And I honestly was just waiting for him to go, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
You're a horrible person. You're completely morally bankrupt. You're selfish. You're narcissistic. You don't give a shit about anyone but yourself. You're willing to break the law. You're willing to steal from people.
Her mom tells her that.
Betray your own so-called friends. And for what? Just so you can feel better about yourself? So you can build something iconic? Why? So you can get famous and rich? That's it. You don't care about helping people. You are a horrible person.
People out there making the argument that it's like, wow, you've missed the whole point of the show. She's a flawed person who's working through these flaws. It's like,
Tony Stark was a flawed person, right? And you understood his flaws, right? And you understood the price he had to pay as a result of those flaws and what he had to do to try and atone for them. That was a flawed character.
Disservice they're trying to do right now. Calling Tony, he's a warmonger. He was a criminal. It's like, first of all, he might have been naive. He knew he was making weapons, but he thought he was making weapons for America. And the second he finds out with photographic evidence that it's other people have them, he puts on his suit and he goes and destroys them and then stops the, this is so not the same thing as Riri, who had every chance to do things legally in the right way.
Is it not funny, though, that Tony will get called maybe a war criminal or a criminal by people who are basically stretching the definition a little bit because it goes beyond law. It's more of a spiritual thing. You've done this, that. But she's literally a criminal. Through and through. There's no question.
It's flying around in an Iron Man suit, committing crimes. I hope no one connects it to her. The only person with an Iron Man suit.
Yeah. But even at the end of the show, Mephisto uses all of these points that were talked about as they're keeping you down. Because he's manipulating.
Because he's evil.
No, it's just like, oh my god, do you not even fucking see this?
Can I ask a question as well? What becomes of Zeke at the end of the show?
Nothing. He vanished.
Oh, great!
After she
That's satisfying.
So he has superpowers now.
After she deprogrammed him or reset him, he just vanishes from the show.
Do you know what he looks like? He looks like the Doctor Doom from the Fox X-Men with the internal cybernetics and he just shoots electricity out generically.
He's just got two fucking metal discs on his
lines
temple.
going down. Yeah. Wires.
At one point, Riri laments at one point, I could build 1,000 other things and no one would care or pay attention. And that's how dissociated from reality is that?
Well, I
the
said
idea that
He went solo.
why make billions when you can steal thousands? That's Ironheart.
yeah, that should be the tagline.
None of your tech is representative of helping any kind of service, making firemen better at their job, or police, or whoever. It's just no. You just really liked Tony Stark's idea and copied it. That's your whole thing.
I also don't understand, because I think we talked about this as well. Like, it doesn't have an arc reactor, so it has to just charge, and it runs on batteries. It's like there's a very obvious reason why no one had built an Iron Man suit before Tony Stark. It's because it needs an arc reactor to power it. Like the amount of power it takes to fly and shit and shoot repulsor blasts, you can't do that from a battery. And it's
solar powered, dude. What are you talking about? Solar powered.
Yeah, but the first time you see it with the solar wings out, it's at night.
I know.
It's charging at nighttime.
Yeah, I wrote so much shit about this.
You're quite as good at the science thing as you think you are, Riri.
The script that I wrote for this, I was writing so fast. I was typing faster than Slug with her long nails, when she was typing in the show, because there's just so much crap in the show. It was so
sad when the character is the least of my issues.
Well, there's a great scene where Slug is supposed to be doing like the whole computer hacking thing, and they give a close up of his hands on the keyboard, and they're not even trying to pretend like he's typing. He's literally just going like,
just mushing. Yeah.
It's just like that. It's like,
that is hacking. I think you'll find.
What even is this show? It's amazing.
What annoyed me was the character of Joe. I thought, because I was born foolish, that they were going to introduce him as like a character who's living under a facade of a humble, wimpy suburban guy, and that's his front and his facade. And then there'd be a cool scene where that would break down, and we'd see this cool reveal of him as a more complicated and nefarious and insidious character. But no, he's just a stupid, wimpy dude. So that's his thing.
Yeah.
The Ironmonger legacy.
Even when they I'll tell you what. Actually, there's one amazing thing in the show, which is
Clippy.
Ironheart, to save herself, lets John die. Right? She could have saved him. She lets John die. She's responsible for his death. Joe, aka Ezekiel, has the opportunity to kill Riri, and he doesn't. And at that moment, Ezekiel's the better man. He's the better person.
Yes.
He's a better person than Riri Williams, because he knows that if Parker finds out he's dead, but he still lets her live and gives her an opportunity to get out of town. And it's just like, holy shit, your villains have a better moral compass than the fucking hero.
We're not being hyperbolic. Like, literally every character there is better than Riri, like has some moral savings that's better than her. And also just how far we've fallen, because someone mentioned it today when we were talking about the cross-dresser Slug. If anyone's seen the show Banshee, which I think is absolutely goated, there's a cross-dressing woman behind the chair, whatever, and no one questioned it because it was early 2000s. And yet here we are with Slug, and it's just so on the nose, and it just adds nothing.
What becomes of Riri at the end of this? So, like, Parker has the hood that's, I guess, a tool of Mephisto's to manipulate him into doing bad things. So what's Mephisto's plan here? And then what becomes of Riri? Because I haven't watched the final episode. Probably not gonna.
Well, can I? Okay. I got to give context here, because Riri Williams is such a fucking retard. She doesn't actually get what she thinks she's going to get. So at the end of the show, she makes a deal with the Mephisto for a soul. And
she literally sells her soul.
Yeah, she sells the soul to Mephisto.
Could we be clear, though?
No, I want to be clear.
She doesn't get the details.
No, she doesn't know it's her soul.
But
he says it's something she won't miss.
To Mephisto for the AI of Natalie to come back, because it's wiped. Because they have to power the fucking iron suit by magic in the final episode, and it wipes Natalie, the AI. So she wants Natalie back. She wants the AI back. So she has that. Mephisto gives her the real Natalie back. So when she realizes it's the real Natalie, we're all like, wait a minute. You're so fucking retarded. Instead of saying, can I have the real Natalie back? You just wanted the fucking AI? That is the level of fucking retardation of Riri that we're dealing with here.
Did she realize that was even an option?
Well, that's the thing. There was no details. The deal happens almost instantly. There's no asking how anything works.
It's the devil deal, right?
Yeah,
because if Riri thought she could, if Riri thought she was, or she needed to get the AI of Natalie back, couldn't she just plug herself into her laptop again and just scan her brain and make another one?
Yeah, and it takes 4 hours.
She did it.
Yeah, 4 hours. I can do that.
No, she doesn't know how to do it. She turns it on, she puts the mixtape on, she falls asleep.
And yet
That's how you fucking do it.
There ain't nothing interesting about a fucking monkey's paw. If, say, for example, the wish is like, do you want things to go the way that you'd like? And you go, yes. They go,
Did you guys like Sacha Baron Cohen, though? I actually did like his performance. I saw what they were trying to do, and the stupid reflection, but it's a waste. It's a waste that they waited for this now, here, instead of the end of WandaVision or far earlier.
He didn't have too much to go with, but he was really good in the final scene because he's literally just saying everything the audience is saying about Riri. What Riri isn't, but he's saying it as a manipulation because that's exactly what she believes, which just makes her look like a complete villain at the end of the show because he just highlights all of her faults. All of her strengths, but we know that they're faults.
Yeah.
You've been held back. People, it's always you against everyone else. He's doing all of the kind of stuff that she isn't. And she's going, she's fucking buying into all of it.
The scene where he's bullying the hood guy in the elevator, that was where I was actually vaguely like, my eyes were like, huh? Is something happening that's like a TV show? No.
I got a question though. Why did he take over his dad's house and then go back to the pizza parlor?
I don't know. Nobody cares about that character. The show didn't care about him when the episode was coming to its end. It was like, whatever.
I quite liked him until the final episode when he just turned into a pantomime villain out of nowhere.
I always thought he looked silly. I just didn't quite get into it.
I honestly came this close to just stopping when they went to that like herbal crystal shop.
That's what I was going to ask you.
What about it takes them to like another dimension. It's like they're all magical.
Magic.
Because that's the Strange Academy setup.
It is quite literally Black Girl magic they've got going on in this fucking show.
They've given the fuck up, haven't they, on any rules for anything? Because after Agatha, the witches are just everywhere doing magic.
Because the point of comparison with this show is Tony Stark and like the first Iron Man movie, right? And I imagine Tony just sitting there like looking at this almost like in a crystal ball, like what this is all leading to.
She's setting up Strange Academy. They're like Harry Potter thing at Comertage. Like that's literally either a show or a movie. But like that's what she was saying. She goes there and haven't you heard of Strange? They're gonna have a TV show about that.
I hate the MCU. I actually despise it. Yes. I've gotten to that point now. I'm not even going to pretend that there's anything worthwhile in it anymore. It is just a money-making enterprise. And it's just everything is about
I tell you what,
selling the new product.
The little lass, the little magic lass, she should have been Riri Williams. Because she looked much better than Riri. She had a much more quirky personality, which would have actually probably gone together with the genius sort of aspect of what they're trying to convey with Riri, but they can't because she's fucking retarded. And the glasses and the everything about her I was like, shit, they should have just put that lass as Riri. You would have been much better.
I was actually kind of all right with that character. She at least wasn't
insufferable. I thought she was the best one in by a long shot.
I don't know how you guys got through all these episodes. I got to episode 3 and I had to go in 1.5 speed. So try to imagine.
Got through Batwoman.
Try to imagine Riri on 1.5 speed with her little twitches and frowns and quivers. That's her acting. Yeah. But I had this strange feeling while I was watching this because it was made, in 2021,
they finished filming in November 2022.
Yeah. So I had the very strange feeling of watching something simultaneously really progressive, but also really stale and dated because the cultural ground had shifted under its feet.
Yeah.
So there's all the stuff about there's the transgender with the long nails. There's the non-binary person, and then the mother knocks on the door and says, "You got a boy in here?" And then she says, "Have you got a girl in here?" Just all of that stuff. Also wrote, and so it feels really strange, really kind of dated. Yeah. All of that
whole
stuff.
I can't breathe fucking shit.
So, question: is this the last major girl boss that we're going to see on the screen?
No.
apart from Fantastic Four.
I think this is
No.
I think this is the most blatant, like, progressive pushing show you're ever going to see with Marvel, because, like you say, the cultural zeitgeist has very much moved on since then, and this is a horribly dated relic of a different time. You'll never get something as blatant as this, but holy fuck, I look at this and think this is a cautionary tale. Like, if things had gone differently, every show would be like this. Every show would look like this. It would push all this garbage, and it would be unrelenting. So
It's not over, though.
It's that quote from Terminator Genesis: "You're an ancient relic from a forgotten timeline."
Like when Doomsday comes out, Scarlet Witch will probably be a narrative lead, and some of the other women. Even by the time we get to X-Men, do you really think Cyclops is going to be the lead, or is it maybe going to be Storm and Jean Grey? Which there's precedence, but still, if there's a chance, they'll always pick the female option.
I just think I can totally see why they delayed this for so long. I imagine they were thinking out ways that they could edit out most of the diverse fucking team of, or recast the actors or something like that, and they just realized, nope, it's too integral to everything. We just have to roll with it. We're just going to have to put this out and hope for the best.
We've got a group of people, though. We've got the Blood Brothers. We've got the Blood Brothers. We got Ghost. We've got fucking RuPaul's Drag Race. And these are the people that we've seen in the show have gone into multi-billion-dollar companies and subverted them and taken them over. And they can't even beat a little fucking 4'10" black girl in a takeaway restaurant without a suit.
White Castle.
Without even a suit.
That was baffling. That, like, these two brawlers, right? The big lesbians that beat each other up. I don't know what they were trying to tell us with that, but anyway, those two, who are like, they're entirely defined by being really good fighters. They couldn't take out Riri together, and she's not a fighter. She's about the intellect. She's about the engineering. She's about the suit. But, like, what is the point in them then? Like, why did they do a scene like that?
Well, first of all, she disarms one of them by shoving a half-eaten hamburger in their mouth, and they go, "Oh,
There you go, fatty."
and I'm just like,
literal naked gun joke.
yes, it's naked. It's the naked
There are
gun.
worse ways to go out.
And then Ghost,
It's a White Castle burger, though, man.
Ghost is like crouching down on the top of the service desk. So you got the dining area behind you, you've got the kitchen in front of you. And we get a view of how tiny the kitchen is. And she's like, "Where are you, Riri?" It's like, there. There's nowhere she can fucking go. It was.
She's right there. One of them hits her in the head with a fucking fire extinguisher, like it's a club, and she's fine.
Yeah.
Like,
But
just
we saw
stuff like
security
that.
guards being knocked out and KO'd.
Missed opportunity to not have it be a Waffle House instead of a White Castle, but either way.
Yeah, this is the show that has
everyone knew what we were
the show.
thinking.
Yeah.
The show has plot armor, socio-cultural armor, and literal armor in it. So that's a trifecta for the show.
Well, they point out that
Pretty
it's like a mostly black writer's room. We were like, yeah, that's the problem. This is how you are writing your own. This is not good. I would not, if I had a daughter, I would not want her to watch the show. And if I had a black daughter, I would definitely not want her to watch this show. Riri is nothing to look up to.
Well, it's the first thing that, to me, from Marvel, has actually addressed equality perfectly. They've been racist to everybody in this show. It's great. It's like,
true.
okay.